Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk about arithmetic series. In particular, the formula for the sum of the first n terms of a sequence, as shown here in the syllabus. The formulas for the sum of an arithmetic sequence are shown here. They're given on page 3 of your formula booklet. A series is the sum of the terms of a sequence. So if we consider a sequence of terms u1, u2, u3, and so on, then the corresponding series is formed by placing plus signs between these terms. And the sum of the first n terms is denoted with the symbol Sn. In the example shown here, S1 is the sum of the first term, so S1 is equal to 3. S2 is the sum of the first two terms, it's equal to 7. S3, the sum of the first three terms, equal to 12. And S4, the sum of the first four terms, which is equal to 18. The formula for the sum of an arithmetic sequence, shown here, Sn, is equal to n divided by 2, so that's the number of terms divided by 2, multiplied by 2 lots of u1, where u1 is the first term, added to n minus 1 lots of d, where d is the common difference. So in this sequence shown here, the first term, u1, is 3, and the common difference is 1, because we're adding 1 each time. And if we're going to find the sum of these four terms, n is equal to 4. So substituting 4 for n into the formula, and dividing by 2, multiplying that by 2 lots of 3, the first term, added to 4 minus 1 lots of 1, the common difference, still gives an answer of 18. Another formula for the sum of n terms of an arithmetic sequence, shown here, uses the last term, un, along with the first term. Doesn't use the common difference in the formula. So again, for the sequence shown, the first term, u1, would be 3, and the last term, or the fourth term, is 6. And I'm finding the sum of these four terms, so again, n is equal to 4. And if you substitute into this formula, again, you'll get an answer of 18. In this question, we're asked to find the sum of the first 10 terms of the arithmetic sequence given. So if we start by writing down what we know. We know the first term is 5, so u1 is 5. We know the common difference is negative 2, so d is negative 2. And we're asked to find the sum of the first 10 terms. So we know that n is 10. And then if we write down the formula, which is given in your formula booklet, and substitute the values in. So replacing u1 with 5, d with negative 2, and n with 10. Giving a result of negative 40. So the sum of the first 10 terms is negative 40. And we can verify this answer by writing out the terms, as shown below. In this question, we're asked to find the sum of the arithmetic series shown. So if we start by finding the common difference, subtracting consecutive terms gives a common difference of 7. We also write down the first term, which is negative 6. So u1 is negative 6, and the last term is 141. So we write UN equals 141. Now if we use the formula for the nth term of an arithmetic sequence, also given in your formula booklet, and form an equation involving n by replacing UN with 141, U1 with -6, and D with 7. To find the number of terms in this series, we need to solve this equation, and we can either do so algebraically, given n equals 22, or we can use solver on the calculator to solve the equation. And to do that, from the main menu, if we select equation, and then press F3 to select solver, followed by F2 to delete any previous equation, and F1 to confirm that deletion. And then type the equation in. 141, and shift to get down to the equals, -6 plus and the bracket, and we use x for the variable, take away 1, close the bracket, multiplied by 7. And pressing execute will enter the equation. Just to note that the number next to x is not the solution to the equation because we haven't pressed solve yet. So pressing F6 to solve the equation, we see again that n is equal to 22. So we know the series has 22 terms. So to find the sum, we can use the formula, and this time we use the second version of the formula since we were given that the last term was 141. So replacing U1, the first term, with -6, UN, the last term, with 141, and replacing n with 22 for the 22 terms. We get a value of 1,485. So the sum of the arithmetic series is 1,485. In this question, we're told an arithmetic series has a sum of 170, and we have to work backwards and find the number of terms. If we start by writing down what we know that the first term is 8, so U1 is 8. We know the common difference is 2, so D is 2. And we know that the sum of the terms is 170. So Sn equals 170. And if we use our formula for Sn, we can write an equation in n by replacing Sn with 170, U1 with 8, and D with 2, as shown here. Solving this equation will give us n, the number of terms in the sequence. And we can use solver on the calculator to do this. So if we press F1 to repeat a calculation, F2 to delete the previous equation, and F1 to confirm that, again we're ready to type in the equation. So we can type it as we see it. It's 170, and then shift to get down to the equals. We can press a fraction button and use x as our variable, over 2, and the right cursor to get back up to the level, and multiplied by, use brackets, times 8, plus another bracket and another x, take away 1, close the bracket, multiply by 2, and close the other bracket. And if we press execute to enter the equation, and then F6 to solve the equation, we see that the sequence has 10 terms. And as it's a small number of terms, we could write them out to verify our answer. Another way of solving the equation is to use solve n on your calculator. To show you this, from the main menu, if we select option 1, the run matrix, and then press the option key, followed by F4 for a calculation, and F5, solve n. And again, type in the equation as we did before. 170 shift equals fraction and x variable over 2, right cursor, multiplied by brackets, 2 times 8 plus another bracket, let's take away 1, close the bracket, times by 2, and close the bracket. And if we then press execute, and then press exit, you'll see that 2 solutions are displayed, but as n, the number of terms, must be positive, of course the solution again is n equals 10. A third way of solving this equation on your calculator is to use polynomial solver, and to use that we need to simplify the equation. So if you expand the brackets and rearrange the terms, we'll get a quadratic equation. So to use polynomial solver, from the main menu, you go back to equation, and select F2 for polynomial, and then F1 for degree 2, because the highest power is 2. Then if we enter the coefficients, so that's 1n squared, 7n minus 170, and then press F1 to solve the equation. Again, you will see the 2 solutions displayed, and again we'll choose the positive value, n equals 10.